Hi, and welcome to I promise, a much shorter version of Psychobabble than my last two that were right around 20 minutes. This version is on the much awaited, the much anticipated Green Inferno. Let's start with the trailer. It's only a minute long, so bear with me, and here's the trailer to the Green Inferno by one libtard director Eli Roth.
Where's your necklace?
It's in my dorm room.
You know your mother made that out of your grandmother's silver.
Silver, yes. I know. I just forgot to wear it.
You should have kept playing. Your mother loved it.
She also loved it when I did what made me happy.
I should be doing something about the rainforest.
Everyone is aware of what's happening. It's not something that can be cured overnight.
Unless there was oil involved. Then we'd end FGM tomorrow.
You can't just go invade a country because they're doing something that we think is immoral. We're all very proud of you, baby. Just think you're letting your talents go to waste.
See what I mean? Couldn't even get through the trailer to this film without all the lines that make it painfully obvious where Eli Roth stands. I mean, I waited forever for this movie. I own Cannibal Holocaust, which he admitted that this is a loosely based remake of, inspired by. That movie was hard to watch. This movie, however, it's hard to watch too, but for the wrong reasons. And let's get to that.
Lorenzo, yeah, she stars in the movies. And we talk about the violence in Oregon, and it is unbelievable how it just seems to be getting worse. There's no gun control.
Did you hear that? I'm going to play this clip for you instead of like this. I'm going to put it in the video next here in a second. But I want to point this out for a couple reasons. This is Eli Roth, director of Green Inferno. And the reason I call him a libtard is because he's very confused. Most liberals that are for gun control and that want to make us feel guilty for exercising our Second Amendment right to carry and bear arms. There are also the same people who are protesting. They support protesting. Yet he's anti-protesting and even makes that message in this movie Green Inferno, because I'll play a clip for you also that is here from his mouth, that he just wanted to make a movie where he could see these protesters, you know, get killed and eaten alive and all this. You can hear his hatred for protesters, yet he's a liberal that believes in gun control. Very confusing. Hostel is great, actually, and it's actually more suspenseful than people give it credit for. They only remember the gore, and it's not what people call gore porn, which I hate that. I hate that term. It's not. It's very gory, but it also takes a good amount of time and great cinematography and storyboarding and writing and acting and directing for a great horror film. And I'm surprised that that film came from the same guy that made Green Inferno, because Green Inferno has poor acting, poor line delivery, poor directing, poor writing. Even the cinematography I thought would be rich in this movie because they're actually on location. I guess he's going to start making his horror films everywhere but America. I'm going to show you this clip. It's on the Larry King show. I believe it was called Larry King Now. May still be, but at the time of this interview. And Eli Roth is talking about how sad it is that we're so stupid that we haven't implemented more gun control because of all this rash of shootings. Well, a bit of news for you, Eli Roth. These shootings are happening in the states that have the most gun control. The states that have the least amount of gun control and the more citizens carrying guns aren't having these shootings. So that is completely contrary to what you're saying. You're saying we need more gun control. More gun control would mean more of these shootings, because the people that's wanting to carry out crimes with guns, they don't target areas where the citizens have guns. They target areas where they know there won't be any guns to fire back at them.
Oregon, what's going on? What do you make of accepted violence?
It's so terrifying. My wife is Chilean, and we talk about the difference in the cultures.
She's in your movies.
Yes, she's in the movie. Lorenza, yes, she stars in the movies. And we talk about the violence in Oregon, and it is unbelievable how it just seems to be getting worse, that there's no gun control. And everyone's saying, well, the answer is more guns and more guns and more guns. And then they're already 3D printing guns. So people have already solved that problem, that it's just going to be something you can 3D print. So I don't know. It's the shootings in Oregon. It's so disturbing, because you think of that poor 67-year-old teacher who's just going to work that day, and how could you ever anticipate something like this is going to happen in your life? And it does feel like there's nothing we can do about it. It's terrifying. And then, of course, people rally and go, more guns, more guns. It's like this insanity.
Insanity's correct, Eli. You use the right word, but use the word for somebody who can't understand the simplicity, like yourself, of the fact that more gun control, which means less guns, is where these crimes are happening. That's not a matter of opinion. It's not something that I'm just saying because I'm conservative on a lot of things. It's a fact. It's a fact. All right. So, insanity, he used the perfect word, but to describe his own opinions, because you just heard his very liberal stance for gun control, against guns. But now watch just a short piece of this clip where he's actually bitching about something that liberals are known for doing. He said that Green Inferno, hear it from his mouth, is inspired by Occupy Wall Street. That was the protesters that were against capitalism, and these are protesters that are standing for liberalism. They're against conservatives. They're against capitalism. Occupy Wall Street happened with a liberal agenda. Eli Roth is a liberal. Eli Roth, though, doesn't like these protesters and put them in a horror movie where we see them get eaten by the very tribe that they're there to protect. I understand his message about, why he would have the protesters there if he's a liberal and they're there to save the forest and the tribe. They're literally tree huggers. They lock themselves to some trees. It's all very fitting. But to know that the message under the surface for this movie isn't that at all. It is that he doesn't like the protesters, and so he wants to put them in a movie where he can create a scene. Since it's not happening in real life, he can make it happen in his make-believe world. And that's exactly what he did. And he did it he was so desperate to do it that he jumped the gun on so many things that he could have used to build tension in this movie. A cannibal movie must and could be so extremely scary as hell. And this movie wasn't scary at all. It was anything but. It was very irritating, as a matter of fact. But take a look at this very contradicting statement to the last video clip I played by Eli Roth. Right from his mouth.
The Green Inferno is inspired by Occupy Wall Street. It's about kids that latch onto causes that maybe they don't know everything about or don't believe in, or latch onto it because it's trendy. I kept noticing hashtag of the week. Is everyone going, how can you not care? Kony 2012, child soldiers in Uganda. You get the feeling that now there are these kind of social justice warriors that are out there to make you feel bad about everything. They love being on the homepage of Reddit. I want to see kids like that just get eaten, eyeballs torn out, get their tongue sliced off, genitals mutilated. I want full-on cannibal gore. That for me is hilarious. So Green Inferno is a terrifying movie, but in a very perverse way, it's really fun to watch these kids get it.
And they're called liberals. And they're the ones that see your movies more than people like I do. And now you're shitting on them. You are so ass backwards and self-contradicting. It would be funny if it wasn't so irritating, because I was looking forward to such a good movie. And, the contradicting confused political agenda that is a Rubik's Cube of common sense. I mean, you have to manipulate your messages, your beliefs, and now your movies, because you're injecting your messages and beliefs into your movies. We have to work out this Rubik's Cube, if you will, to even understand what the hell you're trying to say to us. When all I really wanted to see was a good modern day version of Cannibal Holocaust. You want to see a modern day, loosely based remake on Cannibal Holocaust without having to suffer through his bullshit. There's one that's been out for a few years now that is actually scary. Welcome to the Jungle by Dimension Extremes. Watch it. This movie is good. It builds tension. It's scary. I will compare Welcome to the Jungle, which was never in the theaters that I know of. I think it was strictly for DVD and Blu-ray. This movie is 10 times, 20 times better than Green Inferno. Check this out. Don't waste your time on Green Inferno. Green Inferno sucks badly. It doesn't eat like it should. It has no teeth. It sucks bad. I'm feeling a growing desire to punch him in the mouth. I didn't even like the score music. I mean, if you had made us like the characters that became victims, so we would be more vested in them, and it would be more emotional and traumatic for the audience when they get killed, on a scale from 1 to 10, man, I hate it. And I hate it because I wanted something better. I wanted something really, really good. Best I can do is 3 out of 10. Because after all, what do I know? This is only a bunch of psychobabble.